Charlie, welcome to another edition of Extra Time, live here in the studios of Soccer Bed. It's a real pleasure. And we finally have got our finalists for this year's World Cup. It's Spain versus Argentina. Spain versus Argentina. You see this Spain jersey here? You see the star here? No?
One star.
One. I check too much. Ache. That's now. Baby, you're why you lonely.
16 years, so say Ache. Now, Obi Ako over 60 years, ne?
I'm the informer. Wait, why you lonely too much? Why you 16 years new? Why you lonely too much? Since Spain became a country, oh, you won't be that. Ne way by and I say, watch out, hey, why you lonely? Yeah, so we are going to get the either the sister or the brother for him. +1. So we need to get him a +1 here and we'll sort him out. You know what I'm saying? Bernard is here. The Bassa man is here. Whether left or right, he's a happy man. He's a happy man.
Charlie.
Against France, he was celebrating. Against England, he was celebrating. As to Sunday, we don't know what he will do.
This semi-final, there be me, Charlie, no go give me cry. All the teams are support, none of them win.
Hey, you support France?
Charlie, I support France. I say the final will be France, Argentina, repeat of 2022, but I know far. We as them come out France, I say, oh, okay, then I'm English. So I'll be supporting England. It's coming home. Oh, Charlie,
it's coming home, it's going home.
Where they go disappoint me. So now, I don't know. I'm still deciding who I'm going to be supporting the final. Charlie, I don't know. The way we need to Charlie,
I've been seeing and cancel match. And cancel match. If we are coffee BSC now, hey, we can't play the match again. Postpone. Is that finalist man? Yeah, they say Charlie final.
The Barca fans.
The
Barca fans they feast too much.
I cancel the match. Like postpone and we'll put somewhere.
This one, if Messi win, Barca fans go make happy sake of it. Then go get the goat debating, take laugh Ronaldo fans.
Yeah.
If Spain to win, baby I'm out. He win World Cup. Then go do Madrid fans to go like him. Sake of 6 Barca players or 7 Barca players or even 8 Steph win World Cup. Oh Charlie. So as it stands here, Charlie, if we win give.
And I think we say if Spain win it for Spain and they go talk say some Madrid can hear more. The Barca could.
The Barca can World Cup.
But they go to say Kukubi one, right? They didn't call him based on Madrid performance. They called him based on Chelsea performance. so if we lay claim, you understand? So we don't need you in the national team. You don't need you in the national team. So, but it's interesting. Let's talk about the France and Spain game, though. Everybody is criticizing Didier Deschamps for how he approached the game. But the question is, how did he approach the game? For which reason? He's being blamed for the loss. Like, what did he do wrong in the game?
You see, Charlie, me sometimes when people are making comments and like passing a lot of comments, it's very, very funny because football they are grounded from home. If you know ball play, we they put ball for floor, we all they play. But I was surprised. It was surprising when I saw people take France to be like winners. I mean, you could see it all around social media. France were going to be the winners and all that. And it appeared very funny to me because if you look at that France team, it's a super team. They've got all it will take for all it takes for a good team to win a tournament. They have the attack and all that. But then you look in within the team, you realize that there are loopholes within the team. It's not a complete team. It's not a complete team. All along all the teams we were meeting were not top. Teams, though they were performing Morocco and all that, they managed to find their way around it. But then meeting Spain was a reality check, and you can't fault Deschamps.
But you can understand why people were tipping France. I mean,
you have Mbappe.
They were without a doubt, the best team in the tournament until they met Spain.
I disagree. They were the best team because the likes of Argentina, Spain, I didn't call it.
I mean, you talk about they were the best team in the manner in which they dispatched their opponent leading up to that semi-finals. Argentina didn't dispatch their opponent the way France did. Likewise, Spain.
France were the best team based on the individual players.
France was never the best team. Because if France is supposed to be the best team, I understand their game against Senegal was what made me realize that no, France is never the best team. You guys
My leading up to that game against Spain, France were literally the favorite. Opta, if he even starts and everything was showing
That's
that.
Opta, but then
Yeah, every majority of people were kind of even saying, "Oh, this France super team, they might worry Spain because of their attack." We are not saying Spain weren't good, but I mean sometimes it's the momentum you had, you take towards a game, because Spain, even though we're winning matches, people weren't really that convinced with their attack.
So the opening
Kind of,
match for France was against Senegal, right? That match, the first half, you guys saw how it all turned out. France was never the best team in that first half.
Based on that opening match.
Opening match.
But we saw Spain in their opening match.
Oh no, Spain in their opening match.
They couldn't score. They couldn't break down Cape Verde.
That's understandable, but
It's
it's understandable because Cape Verde against Argentina was a different entire game. You could see that Cape Verde was also a good team, but against Senegal wasn't the best of the best in this tournament.
Senegal wasn't a good team when they met France.
It's not that they weren't a good team; they were a good team, but then you could see the disparity in terms of quality.
Yeah, but you're saying that when France met Senegal, that's where you saw that no, France are not.
Yes, because in the first half, it was difficult for France to hold on to play, like control the game, dictate the tempo of the game. And that's what made me realize that no, this France team is not all that we all think it is. Because you look at how Senegal was able to hold them tight, had 4 to 5 opportunities they could have scored, but then they missed chances and that failed them. The second half, France coming into that second half, it was all due to Senegal's inability to convert their chances and also lay out some mistakes and all that. That was what gave France those opportunities to have their way in the first, in the very first game in the tournament.
But isn't that what makes a good team a good team? That even though they struggled, you saw how they struggled in the first half, they still found a way to win the game. That's what makes a good team a good team. And we've seen it throughout this tournament. We've seen how Argentina have struggled in games, yet found a way to win it. So if France ended up winning that game against Senegal, bottom line is they won the game. They won the game. Regardless of how difficult it was for them, they won the game. And despite winning the game, you said no, because of some of the things they went through, that is why. But every other team who has reached this stage of the competition went through what France went through. It wasn't peculiar to France. Nobody understood why Spain could not get the ball at the back of the net against Cape Verde. Like, how? Why? Nobody can understand. But it was just one of those moments. But here they are in the finals of the competition, even after suffering that setback. Because that is what good teams do. Despite the difficulty as the tournament progressed, they find a way.
Yeah.
It's always about finding a way, and they found a way. Argentina did that. England did that. Look at the game against Mexico, for instance. Look at the game against Norway. It was a very difficult one, but they found a way to cross the finishing line. But I understand your concern about, because all I have always said, and I think a lot of people said it, that look, France is a good team until they meet Spain. And when they met Spain, clearly we saw it.
Yeah.
But and I think you didn't touch on that. And I wanted to touch on, was this largely because of how Didier Deschamps approached the game, or there was nothing Didier Deschamps could have done to stop Spain?
There was nothing. I mean, that Spain performance reminds me of Barcelona when we're at our peaks. The likes of Busquets.
See how Casa when we were at
No, relax. No.
When we were
when Busquets. No. When Busquets. When Busquets.
Now we.
When Busquets, Xavi, and Iniesta were dictating the tempo of the play, and that was what we saw. I mean, Olmo acting as the forward line man, breaking. I mean, finding himself in those pockets and acting as the man who is able to find himself in tight space. I like to call him the tight space merchant. Olmo is such a brilliant player. So coming up against a player, a double pivot in Rodri, arguably one of the best defensive midfielder after the retirement of Busquets, tells you that, no, look, you have no chance. Because Rodri on that day was a Busquets incarnate. You were nowhere closer to taking the ball from him. And Fabien Rui, my God, that performance, bro, I say, I've seen good performances from good teams, but then that midfield performance from Spain on that day.
So there was nothing Didier could have done.
No, there was nothing. If he had something to offer, I think Didier would have taken off the likes of Dembele, who had no business in that match. Dembele, Olise, I didn't understand why they kept him on. I mean, they changed his nonchalance on that day because people say Mr. Nonchalant, but then he ended up losing the ball more than we all expected. If Olise had been taken off earlier and Czechia had his way in the match, I think something would have happened, because you saw that in the Nations League when Ryan Czechia was brought on, was magic. But I don't know what kept Deschamps from making those subs, because obviously you would be frightened. Zach, you'll be terrified, because what you were seeing on the pitch were not normal. You're watching Lamine Yamal torment your wing back, and then you're confused. And then later on brought in Theo Hernandez. Look, I think that performance from Spain,
But
was so great.
we saw how Portugal played against Spain.
Yeah.
They kept them. But then you see how France played against Spain, and you wonder what was wrong. And even after the game, Kylian Mbappe said it. Look, we didn't get the approach right. Ryan Cherky said it. The players said that we didn't play the way we usually play.
Yeah, because if you listen to Mbappe's comment, he was saying they were giving the ball away when they shouldn't have given it, because Spain had majority of the possession. And the times that France had the ball and should have done something with it, they ended up giving it away. Their touches wasn't as smooth as it should have been. I mean, I just felt they had an off day at the wrong time. You know, sometimes in this tournament, you're allowed to have off days. But sometimes, if you're not lucky, you have that off day against a team that will punish you. Because Spain are not that kind of team where you have an off day against. And in this tournament, if you want a team that will bore you with possession, it's Spain. Yeah. They hold on to the ball and pass you around. So if you want to stand a chance of being in the game or beating, you also have to up your game or make sure you don't lose concentration. Always focus. Because against Portugal like this, the match wasn't... It came out that the game wasn't even interesting because of how
Spain were possessing them.
Spain were possessing the ball, and Portugal were not also giving them the kind of chances that you would or Spain were expecting to get, because we were blocking the channels and all that up until Merino came, and that one moment of brilliance won Spain the game. And against France, it was surprising. Yeah, prior to that game, France were the favorite pair. Mainly because of their attacking prowess and all that. But if you actually look at it, if you want one team that are able to beat this France super team, it's Spain. Because of the style. Stylistically, I think France just find it difficult to match or cope with Spain. In their last two meetings, the Nations League and the Euros, France entered those competitions as top favorites. But it was Spain that kicked them out of the competitions. Yeah. All because of the style. They like to keep and hold on to the ball. And with the kind of superstars France also have, Mbappe and all the superstars, they are not players you would attribute running around or pressing high. They are not those kind of players. Because if you watch France at
PSG, they barely presses like his
because one of the reasons France usually feast is because they face teams, and because teams are scared of the attack, they sit deep, and France always try to find a way and they beat them. Or these teams who try to attack them, leave spaces behind, and with the likes of Mbappe, Olise, Dembele, they punish them. Yeah. But against Spain they defend by holding on to the ball. That's how they defend. Yeah. That's how they defend and they attack. They hold on to the ball. And France always find it difficult. That's why I was kind of surprised why Deschamps didn't change anything. He decided to go with his normal three midfielders of Olise, Rabiot, and Tchouaméni. I mean, it wasn't going to work. Because he should have packed the middle. Yeah. Like, make it pack them, at least drop Olise. If even you drop Olise, you can decide to even drop Dembele. One of Olise or Dembele should have been dropped. Yeah. And go with typical midfielders, like proper midfielders, to compete with the midfield of Spain.
Start Kone, Tchouaméni, and Rabiot.
Exactly. Because if you want to stand a chance of beating Spain or even like frustrating them, you have to compete in the middle. Because that's where everything happens. It happens
if you look at the goals Spain scored, first one, the penalty that Yamal picked.
Yeah.
Digne, he should have done better.
He should have done better. Yeah.
Basically, head the ball away. The lack of awareness of the fact that, look, Spain are a very good pressing team. That even while the ball is in the air, they are going to press you, because Lamine Yamal saw that Digne was waiting for the ball to drop for him to clear, and he read it so smartly.
Once he had a loose touch,
when the ball came down,
he
rushed into it
properly with his
and
head,
managed to get the penalty. In that situation, you can't so much blame France structure for that. I don't think the first goal, you blame France so much for the structure. Or,
I mean, what
you know,
brought about that penalty was even a dangerous cross by Kukurea. Kukurea whipping a cross, and they were trying to clear it.
And if you look at it, they had it completely covered. They had it completely covered.
Proud to the penalty, Spain, you could feel that if there was one team to score first, it was going to be Spain.
But they
proud
didn't.
to that penalty.
I mean, and
France,
that's why
France
I'm even
kept giving the ball away. Olise kept giving the ball away.
I think
so Spain, it was a penalty where you say, okay, Spain deserved that penalty.
No, the penalty was a penalty.
Yeah,
but actually, that situation would have resulted in a goal if it wasn't a penalty. There was no way. It was completely covered.
Yeah.
Diaz should have just cleared the ball. You are in the box.
Panicked.
Why will you
panicked.
think that, Spain is going to give you the room to bring the ball down and boot it? They won't allow you.
And
you are playing against a team that will press you.
Credit also to Yamal, because Yamal was very smart on that
He was
occasion.
smart.
I saw this clip where after the penalty, Mbappe looked at him.
Yeah, it was smart. It was a smart. Then if you look at the second goal that Spain scored, look at the second goal that Spain scored. I think that is where I have a problem, and that feeds into the problem with France in that game against Spain. They had players who were not willing to put in the shift. I don't know whether it is because of how they played throughout the tournament. And that's why I agree with you when you say that, look, France played a certain way that when they met Spain, they couldn't have played that same way. They had to change their style.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, for most of the players, they were so tuned to how they've played in the tournament that maybe it didn't occur to them that, Charlie, we are playing Spain, so let's tweak it. Because look at the goal they, for instance, conceded. It started all the way from the back. Kone was in a wrong position. It was even Due who was supposed to be marking Dani Olmo. He left Dani Olmo, was just walking. Then Kone pushes in there, leaves Dani Olmo free. Dani Olmo picks it all the way. And for Baina, I don't know, sometimes he's not correct. Baina
is not correct.
He's not correct. Baina gets the ball.
He went back.
And you decide to shoot. And lucky for him,
and they recycled
rebound,
it again.
Rodri picks it up. Another cross in there. Digne heads it back, and look, credit to Spain, because just look at that space in front of the D.
You know, one of the things that gave France the success they had at the 2018 World Cup was because in that midfield they had the Pogba, and they had the Kante. So you had a controller in Pogba, and you had a destroyer in Kante.
Yeah.
And that's
so,
what
and you had
doing.
In occasions you had Rabiot, who was more of the box to box.
But in this case,
they don't have that kind of profile in their middle. Yeah. So even though people were tipping France to win it was because their attack was holding them down.
But you see,
they don't play with attack.
But
that's the thing.
The point also is
they
that
could have gotten away with it if they hadn't met Spain. They could have gotten away with it. It's the fact that they met Spain.
Let me just stress on this point that, look, one thing that did not work for Spain, and I think a lot of people have mentioned it, and it's worth repeating, that the players simply did not come to a certain realization that we all have to put in the shift. Look at the goal they conceded. I was just talking about how the goal transitioned.
France, yeah.
Yeah, I mean France. Look at, and I talk about when Digne had the ball, cleared the ball, and I think Dani Olmo picked it up somewhere in the D. It was Fabian Ruiz picked it up and gave it to Pedro Porro. When Pedro Porro
picked the ball past the started running.
Who was marking Pedro Porro?
No.
When Porro gave it to Dani Olmo, you should be thinking.
When he gave the ball to Dani Olmo,
you should be thinking. And if you are
thinking,
and you realize that, look, we are playing Spain. You are playing Spain in a semi-final. And so you've been given a man to mark, and you see the man is running into space. You should track him, and you don't track him. That's how you get punished. Because the moment Porro gives the ball to Dani Olmo, look at what happens. Porro keeps running. He keeps running and runs into that space, and Due is there watching. And Kone, of course, Kone cannot follow him because he needs to stay there on the edge of the box. But Due is standing there, and Due should be doing the job of tracking back, fails to do it, and look at brilliant cuts back there by Dani Olmo. And Porro was always going to score in that situation. So it feeds into the collective responsibility that was lacking from the French side.
Yeah.
Because like you guys mentioned, you talk about the attacks. Akola was not doing so much pressing, was not doing so much work. Dembele was not doing so much. Kylian Mbappe will not do that. So you have your front three who are not doing the job. And even when they made the substitution, Due was also supposed to come and help in defending. He wasn't doing. Look at the Spanish side. They know that this is a French side that if you give them space on the wings, they will punish
as a team.
So look at the work Lamar was doing on Kylian Mbappe. Tracking. This is a guy who ordinarily his
We won't do
strength
it,
is
yeah.
go forward.
But they understood the occasion.
He understood the occasion.
Yeah.
He was coming back to help Pedro Porro as much as he can, not going forward and coming. But do it. Look at the job that Yamal did. You remember that tackle on Kylian Mbappe?
Yeah.
And look at Due. Yamal is coming that back to come and defend because he knows the danger that someone like Kylian Mbappe and all the attackers friends have got.
Yeah.
And Due. Porro is running. You are there watching. Say Porro, yeah, share the Porro bit me. Hey. Then share the Porro bit me. And you see, sometimes they think they were playing Paraguay. Say Paraguay, they right back on right back on na yanko takino. Why I say onko. Now so Porro eko now do it. Would you know na wo hwe no?
Me say there was an instant where France gave the ball away, and I saw Lucy walking. He was just, I was like, Charlie.
But you guys forget one thing. I think Yamal's importance in that Spanish team cannot be. It's something we all need to acknowledge because.
But nobody has not acknowledged.
I know.
Yeah.
When Pedro Porro got the ball, you realize Yamal was standing at the edge of that side. Pedro had on the ball. I don't know if you guys read the French players. No, he didn't make the run. I mean, he literally served as a decoy to distract the players from marking Pedro Porro because they all felt he was going to pass the ball to Lamine.
You see, if you look at the sequence of play, yes, brilliant reading by Lamine Yamal. Brilliant reading. Digne was on Lamine Yamal. He was marking Lamine Yamal.
There were two
Lamine
players.
Yamal was wide.
Yeah.
So that was his
What
man.
Lamine Yamal saw was that this is not a pass that's going to come to me. It's going to be a 1-2 between him, Porro and Dani Olmo. So he stayed there, and by staying there, he made sure that Digne will not run into space. That's why Due had to run in there and cover because Lamine Yamal, by staying in there and dragging Digne away from him,
There were two players. He dragged two players.
Yeah.
it was one.
I think the person who deserves my credit is Oyarzabal because he took Lacroix out of the game as well.
Yeah, he also took him out of that space.
Oyarzabal was standing right in front of Lacroix.
And they knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah.
The moment they were waiting for was that goal that was created by Olmo. That was exactly what they were trying to do. And that was, exactly.
Tight spaces.
Exactly. Tight spaces.
Yeah.
And it shocks me because I want to believe the France or the French knew this because if you study and you watch Spain, you know that they like this 1-2s in tight spaces when that's what they do.
knew
So I don't know.
Due was told about it.
They were just
Look,
lazy.
in fact,
it was just lazy
in
defending.
fact, when it was happening in the dressing room, I told one of the boys there, Kante, you see, he doesn't play much. So I get in time and Kante, Charlie, I try me streaks. So I don't know. Kante, mommy streaks. Say, dressing room, no. First half, no. You see, first half was 0-0.
Yeah.
Sam called, do it, you come and play. But you see, Pedro Porro,
That
that guy do
that
a lot. Telling us Kante streak, you know, or say, follow him. Do it, you say, or bad, not to say, catch a son, not to say, on TV, you can't some channel on TV, we win the best young player on TV. When they score the goal, no.
Charlie,
When they score the goal, no, where Kante streak me, say, you see.
another player will be like he dey go under the radar pound way then he shine for that game where Kunde.
Kunde did better than
There were a few
Not really.
What's the problem?
There were a few times.
Kunde, yeah, make the point.
There were a few times where France had a good attack, like where
And he won't overlap.
something
He was-
could
he
have
was
happened.
staying back.
And it was so obvious that Kunde
Ran into the space.
Ran into the space.
And he was staying
Your
there.
mouse. I said, "Oh, Kameko and Amami." He was just standing there. Aboga, run! Oh, Charlie.
I think Deschamps had a lot of things wrong, and like all of us have our way of reading the game. I think one, Bakula shouldn't have been served off because Bakula offered you. Bakula's presence. He shouldn't have served Bakula off. Bring it because
He wasn't
Bakula.
even offering anything. No.
He was.
What?
You have Bakula on back. He offers you that press.
Press.
Oh.
Bakula pressing Papa Ben and no press was a game. We can't press in Bakula the press for that. The only person out of the front line who was at least trying to press was Dembele.
Dembele and Bakula then. Oh, anyway.
Bakula,
Charlie,
Bakula,
so, look.
Olise, Mbappe. They were not pressing here.
You see, what Didier did with this French team, at least them they couldn't score one. They didn't have the opportunity of scoring one and holding it and, one shit. And they took their frustration out. Now so, football is coming home for. Hey!
Charlie.
Look, Argentina versus England. You see, the game started exactly how we were expecting it.
Yeah.
Buga buga. Charlie, you see the one?
It was like you see the way the drum sets did for church. Boom, boom. Bang, 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 bang. That's how we're hearing on the field. Oh. Charlie. Oh, Charlie.
First half, no shot of target, 19 fouls.
Charlie. Boom, 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 boom. Hey.
Then Enzo already knocked somebody.
Charlie.
Hey,
Somebody did. They're gonna go give him. They give him. They go him. Boom, boom, boom.
Referee said, Charlie,
that was exactly what we were expecting. And when the game was like that, England had the advantage.
Yeah.
You could tell that the Argentines just wanted to frustrate them. They know that, Charlie, this English team, if you allow them to do their job, they will really hurt us. So let's be physical. Let's nudge them. Let's disorient them. And if you look at the entirety of the first half, to the point that England scored a goal, they were largely in charge. If you look at the momentum, I don't know if you've seen the momentum. This morning, I was just looking at the momentum again, and England was in charge. Then strangely, they score, and Tuchel felt like, no, Charlie, maybe you do it there.
With 30 minutes to go. Charlie.
No. And I'm wondering, guys, if you can help me understand why Tuchel decided to resort to that. Why did he decide to resort to that? Because from the moment they scored the goal to the moment the game ended, they had 12% possession. 12%. 12%. They said, Bono. Omo de Argentina say Argentina mumbo yedi oha mumbra. And this morning, one of my colleagues was making the analysis and he said it was so disrespectful to organize yourself in such a manner where you have Lionel Messi on the field.
Yeah.
To say to yourself, say, Lionel Messi, take the ball. Let's see
Take the ball. Let's see what you can do.
How
Messi.
disrespectful can you be?
Messi.
To say that Messi, with a jabon and now fire there with him, we'll be at the back. Come and let's play. It was just unbelievable. Completely unbelievable. And after the game, he's asked, and he said, well, nobody knows if we have done the other way, what will happen. We know what would have happened because we saw it for at least 60 plus minutes. You were on top. When you didn't sit back, we saw it. You were on top. You were on top. So why do you tell us that, if we did not, yes, we sat back and we lost. But if you hadn't sat back, we don't know. We saw it. We saw what happened. You were leading. Why you were not doing that? You were on top. Why you were not doing that? And you know what is even more frustrating to me? Is the fact that after the win against Norway, Tuchel didn't want to have any conversation about the performance of the team because he said the team performance was not good enough. He said, no, this is how I want my team to play. Not good enough. They perform and not good enough. And after ranting, because remember that what Bellingham had to say.
Yesterday, you know what he said?
We were lucky.
You know what he said after the game yesterday? He said this was one of the best performances.
It's mindless.
Yeah, it's the best.
It's mindless. It's unbelievable.
Oh, this why be found fooling. I just show say he talk him sake of the other game. As he go talk, say it wasn't enough. No, they came after him.
It was unbelievable because look, when he said that after the game against Norway, every England fan was like, "Yeah, this is the coach we want." Even when we are winning, he still cares about performance.
Mess everything
Meaning
up.
that Charlie, he really wants to give it his all.
Mess everything up, Lassie.
Then
Charlie.
you come and play.
Charlie.
Baby, dad, donko.
Charlie.
Then dad, donko. Adanko, dad.
Somebody say somebody say as they go half time. Why? Somebody say as they go half time. Southgate in shadow come then in shadow no then swap jerseys like then swap jerseys and like what was happening?
Is it Akoma Southgate Akoma?
Because bro, they know they make sense so that it literally made no sense why you are doing something and it has resulted to a goal. This was exactly the situation you wanted to find Argentina in. You were pressing Messi anytime Messi had the ball. You kept players on him. He was missing his passes and all that. You were pressing. You were doing this. You were doing that. And you finally scored the goal. Now, this is where you want Argentina to
get a second.
You want them to now come so that you can now break on the counter. Exactly. They take your attackers
off. Gordon off. Bring the bus. Come and defend.
And the thing is, you pack the bus like, Anya, at least a mid-block or something. But you went so deep that pressure... It was now so obvious that you didn't want to attack anymore. And Messi now moved to the right wing and kept spamming in crosses. And the last person you want to be doing that is Messi. Because in history, Messi is one of the best passers of the foot of the
Ball.
You know
ball.
the
And
points.
it's
You know
not
the
like-
points. Not to catch you, but you know the points. I realized that look, Messi is when some of the crosses were not going through. He realized that no, Charlie will do the thing well. There was one cross he put in there
Why they watch the replay?
where touch anybody where he raised it.
No, they watch the replay. They see say he wants
Yeah,
to
I was
see
like,
how.
no, bad boy. Messi.
Okay. But
Don't say
you know what?
no,
You know
no.
the one he even vex him. You see that
The
situation
one-
hit them Bellingham.
the-
Bellingham talk him something. The what way do do? Okay. They watch him. Okay.
No,
He
I
say
think
he bring
that
the
was-
beast
that was
out.
early. That was early.
Tuchel's approach to the game
didn't make
after he
sense.
scored was just unbelievable.
Because Zach,
Was just
watching that game, you could just feel that it's just a matter of when the goal was going to come.
Because we understand that, look, there was no way against Argentina you're going to have most of the ball and be possessed.
oh yeah.
It's going to be 50-50 sort of situation.
They hit the post twice.
You understand?
They hit the post twice.
It's going to be a 50-50 situation. So, yes, have your Gordon there. Have your Rogers there. Have your Hurricane there. When the opportunity comes, attack. But suddenly you score one and you give Rogers, you give Bellingham, you give Hurricane no chance whatsoever. No chance whatsoever of launching attack when the opportunity presents itself.
And it was so absurd when he took off the attackers. Everyone thought it was going to be like a like for like. Maybe the players were tied. So you had Rashford, you had Saka, you had Eze, you had Watkins. So it made no sense that he kept on bringing. When he took one of this, he took off. I
Declan
think
Rice.
not even. He took Declan Rice off and brought in Konsa or someone.
No, O'Reilly.
O'Reilly. Okay. And the attackers, like why? He didn't want to like nobody like.
And you see, the point is if this was like any other coach, this was maybe Otuado.
Only 6 defenders on the field. Though.
No disrespect to Otuado, but in terms of like the level he's gotten to,
Yeah.
the level he's gotten to. If there was any other coach, you would understand. But
6 defenders.
to think this is Tuchel playing against a team like Argentina, reigning world
6
champions,
defenders on the field.
having at the back of your mind that this is a team that has gone to the semifinals, scoring goals at the death, at the very death, scoring goals, finding
Ways.
spaces to score goals against Cape Verde, they did it, against Argentina, they did it. You have that at the back of your mind, and then you score one, and you think the best way to deal with such a team is to sit back.
It's
and
not like
give
it's
your
with
attackers
30 minutes,
no chance at
10
all.
minutes to go. With
No
30
chance at all.
30 plus
It
minutes.
didn't make any sense. And you see, one of the things I was also worried about, look at the first goal, for instance. Let's talk about the first goal. Not once, not twice, not thrice. Throughout the game, Enzo was constantly shooting those shots, constantly hitting it. He was having the space in front of the D, shooting constantly. And Tuchel was just watching.
Nobody was
He was just on the
closing down.
bench watching. Like he made no arrangement to stop those shots that Enzo was continuously hitting. And you know one of them was going to hit in the back of the net. And that cross, boom, to Enzo. And it was Jude who was very late run. Very late run. I was just, look, I was baffled. I did not expect it from Tuchel. And no English fan expected it from Tuchel. Gary Southgate did it against Croatia in 2018. We understand why he did it, man. Young team, no experience. But even for Gary Southgate, he did it and went into extra time.
And
He did it and went into extra time. Gary Southgate did it, it worked. Even went into extra time. And Chairman, you considered what? 2 goals and how many minutes?
5. And you know that what's even shocking? Yesterday's game, I can say Tuchel was brought in for this England job for 2
big
games.
games like this.
Let me say he was brought in to the English job for 2 games. Yesterday's game and the final.
Yeah.
Because this where they got to and the route that they had getting to the if Southgate would have also beaten all these teams and brought because England were favorites to beat all those teams that they beat. They had a better players
It's big games.
and
like
route to the
this.
semi-final.
It's big
But
games.
Big games like this were games where Southgate always choked. And that was why they sacked him and felt that Tuchel was the best man for these kind of big games.
Yeah.
So a do Argentina game be say, this be where Tuchel for showing crutchy prowess.
Yeah.
For sure say, yeah, this is why we brought you in. You are the tactician, you are the top German tactician, you are the knockout master. This is a bad knockout
And the
game,
best
sir.
way was to come and pack the bus.
Charlie, yesterday, Chuck fans, so.
Pack the bus. 10-0-0.
Like yesterday,
10-0-0.
Charlie, yesterday.
You put it forget see.
Yesterday, shock fans.
Wasa.
Shock.
You put it forget because Tuchel supervised the worst Bayern team in history. in the Bundesliga history. Despite they winning the Bundesliga title, it was the worst team in the Bundesliga. They ran. Yeah, it was Dortmund who messed up that day, and then Bayern won. So Tuchel himself has a lot of loopholes in terms of his way of coaching, because even though he's won the Champions League with Chelsea, and then that Chelsea team was, I mean,
but also took PSG to the final.
History worked on his behalf.
PSG 2020.
The one they lost to Bayern. Yeah, so it took PSG to final. But then it didn't work because of this same tactical.
Oh no, but that final, it was Mbappe and Neymar who were just wasteful. They were dumb.
And it was tactical issue.
It was, how can missing chances be a tactical issue?
No.
Missing one on one, how is it tactical issue?
If I'm a coach and my attackers are missing chances, I'm not going to keep you on. And it's a final
about
match.
which better players were there than
Mbappe
and Neymar?
We've seen it in the Euros when Portugal won it. They had a good attackers, but then they brought on Eder. Was Eder one of the best attackers? No, not because of Ronaldo's No. Wait.
And after,
wait. Then take him go tournament. The player, meaning he's a no.
No.
You think this was coming?
I didn't see it coming, but then
no. You think okay, great.
I never thought Tuchel would make such an error.
Exactly, because of the pedigree.
No, wait.
Yeah.
I didn't think of it, but I knew he wasn't a good coach. No. I didn't think he would do that, but then that was a big error. One of the worst errors I've seen. I know we had Kike Setien at Barcelona. Setien was good, but then he didn't get a lot of things right. But Tuchel is last among my list. Coach is on my bone. Thomas Tuchel is number one. Because what he did yesterday was so absurd,
why
bro.
He did yesterday?
Was so absurd.
Me, I'm one of Tuchel's biggest fans, but
you're bringing on defenders.
So
wait.
Hey.
My problem is that you bring on defenders. You think defenders can make them play these long range shots, score you? See, Damben all day the back there, the open space give. No, that was strange, Zach. It was very strange.
The last person you want to be at the end of like putting in crosses is a player like Messi.
That be my problem. See the cross Messi make.
Don't let the crosses. I think it was Egambo.
I think that's the irony. The irony is that
Messi,
when you were not playing 5-back, you hadn't conceded. You brought on more defenders, and
then you can't concede them.
That is difficult to understand.
And even proud to the goal, Zach, Pickford had to make one solid save from a header. The same cross, two saves. It kept on coming, and you could feel that Argentina were close. That time they hadn't yet scored. Though. So as a coach like Tuchel, I like the reason why I shocked we say Tuchel there. Once you saw this, we knew he would have changed something.
You like
he would have changed something.
I said Tuchel see England against Ghana. No. Make people not praise Ghana. That match against Ghana versus England. Thomas Tuchel were born on our bone. If you want, if you true talk at it, I don't lie. That match against Ghana, it shouldn't be a draw match.
Oh yeah, because
England versus Ghana.
I mean, if that's
the quality level was so wide, and you had a player like Sibo getting his day against England, bro.
That be why when Amorf come after that game, because you draw with England. When Amorf come that game, that's why when Amorf come.
Because the English fans are saying that, look, the man should be
Charlie, then the roster move.
He needs to be sacked.
After the game, they say they say agricultural tactics.
It is. It be true.
Charlie, we go hear more this week.
Because 73rd minutes, then you make changes. They bring on defenders for match inside. But they can't defend.
He had 5, 6 foot 5, 6 foot defenders, and all of them had 5 foot.
They can rise his substitution was what
you know what's smart about what was even smart about the second goal Argentina scored. You know, they were anticipating Messi to cross because more of the crosses kept coming from his left foot. So the defenders adjusted themselves in a way they were expecting an in-swinger. And Messi chalked back to his right foot and now putting the cross. It wasn't like it was the kind of like a chip cross. So they didn't have enough time to like readjust themselves to see their heading. So that was how smart he was. Oh yeah. He hit the post twice.
Wait.
One on the left, the other on the right.
And even at that stage of the tournament, you don't there's nothing you can say that Thomas Tuchel had pressure and all that. Because Charlie, Tuchel, your level. You play Champions League final. 2
Against
times. No,
Pep.
you played not the winning per se. You played Champions League final 2 times. That should even be enough experience for you to go into a big
That's
game. Like
why they brought him. That's why they
So I'm
took
surprised.
Southgate
I'm
and hired
surprised
him.
someone will come
Because
up with an
he
excuse
has-
that
he has experience in this type of big game.
because I'm surprised. I'm surprised people are coming up with the excuse that Thomas Tuchel was maybe stressed and frustrated.
Stressed,
and all
Maza,
that. But you know if you are
Maza,
coming
Maza.
up with against a player like Messi, and then you are going to defend and
Yesterday,
allow him.
After the game, one of the pressers, he was saying, they asked him why he kept on bringing the defenders, and he was like, the defenders that were on the pitch, they were leaving so many gaps after they scored the goal. So he had to bring in more defenders to help those who are on the pitch.
You see why the talk you say Thomas Tuchel no bon.
What did they
You
say?
see how the talk you say
They are bringing
no
more defenders to help
No,
those
you
that
see
were on the
why the
pitch.
talk you say Isha. You see why the talk you say Isha.
You see, the one time you say it.
Charlie,
No, we perhaps
see,
everyone.
Tuchel, I
Why-
like him. But yes, the Tuchel way he come yesterday, that Tuchel, I know they recognize him. And they say, Tuchel, what did they talk?
Southgate some
But you
better
see-
passer.
but you see,
What did he
but
do?
you see, that's why I like Coach Carlos Queiroz. But look, you don't
You know-
lose.
you don't go
You
change.
learn. And I think Tuchel, clearly the English FA are very convinced that look, it's not the time to let the man go. He's going to stay on his
Euros,
contract.
yeah, you'll
Euros
be-
2028 will be
yeah.
there. And I'm very sure that Tuchel has learnt. I believe he's learnt.
Okay.
He is learnt.
They've not won it
But you
over
see, the
60
point is
years.
that-
They thought that they were finally at least going
You
to
see,
cross
but
that
the
line.
point also is that look at any stage of the game, and that's why sometimes while we are being critical of him, when you are leading by 1-0 and it's 80 minutes on the clock, the most logical thing to do is to defend. At 80 minutes on the clock, the most logical thing to do is to defend. However, our problems with him is that why he decided the defending right after you score.
Right after they scored, no.
You see,
They scored, no,
like
then
that-
they
because the
retreated.
point is that when you scored, even before you scored, you were on top. When you scored, if you had maintained the momentum, because look at it, few minutes after they scored, there was a chance, I think, was a Hurricane or somebody like that, just around the Bellingham or so. He could have passed it to Hurricane, maybe it would have been a better option. Just after they scored, they were still in the game.
Yeah.
And if they had maintained the momentum,
Yeah.
look,
They
I
would
wouldn't
have
be
beaten
surprised if England had ended the game 2-0.
Yeah. Because Argentina were nowhere.
By the
near.
80th minute, you've gotten the second goal, and even look at it. Even look at it. There was a point, even when Rogers and Co were on the pitch. Remember that attack that Rogers had?
Yeah,
You had to pass.
yeah,
And that guy
yeah,
should be
yeah.
fool because he give the assist. So he go mess up. You should be passing the ball to Hurricane. All right, pass the ball to Hurricane, run into space, and see maybe you can get a corner. He decided to shoot. Didn't make sense there. But what that showed was that if you had kept the momentum, you had kept it, you could have gotten the second goal. Because let's be very honest with you. Let's be very honest. That Simeone guy, he didn't do anything.
Charlie,
You know, Sito. You are
busy for
and the
nothing.
rest of the Argentinian players, you could tell they were frustrated. They were trying to work things out. Messi, to a very large extent, was very, very frustrated. He was frustrated. They were frustrated.
and
That's where we have
but
to
when
credit.
you sat deep, you gave Messi
And
space.
imagine-
That's why you have to
Too
credit
much
Scaloni.
space.
You have to credit Scaloni. You have to
Imagine-
credit Scaloni.
imagine-
The moment Tuchel started making his staffs and bringing on defenders, and then Scaloni was like,
that's what I was going
let me
to
bring
say.
in the Paul.
Because imagine
Let me-
Tuchel made subs and he was bringing in more attackers. What message would that have sent to Argentina? Say, these people, Charlie, if you keep on going, they go even score.
Because look at I think Molina was there on the
Yeah.
right back position, and Montiel was there. What did Scaloni see? He saw that no, Charlie,
Charlie.
made
He
it turn around
gambled.
because
He
the
took
guys
off,
know.
oh, yeah.
Gordon, we know they there. This guy where he there, to go run.
I read-
They all then they back there. So boys,
I read-
because if you watch when Montiel came in, Montiel was literally
was
on the
pressure.
edge.
Oh,
yeah.
He was as if he was playing wings. He was there and all like this, all the time. Because Chairman C said the boys they know will come out.
The same for Nico Gonzalez on the other.
I read-
Exactly. They
I
don't
read-
come out. But if you had your wingers out there,
Oh, yeah.
Montiel would be scared. He wouldn't be coming much. So what you'll be left with is Messi and Co trying to work there. And they know that if they get a chance, Charlie will catch them on the break. But when you catch them on the break, after all these substitutions, who will do the run? Hurricane was tired. He don't feel run go anywhere.
I saw
When Hurricane gets the ball, he was always just at the
Yeah.
D there. 10 and 10, he go take the ball.
I saw
Boom. Straight
I
to
saw-
goal kick.
I saw-
Martinez.
See, after the game, Messi spoke to one of the press, one of the media. So they were asking him about the game and like how Argentina came. So he was saying when England took the lead, right? They felt they didn't want it anymore. So that was what gave them that momentum to keep going.
Yeah.
Because they could feel it's like England. I'm going to go back. I'm born. I'm based on baby.
And that,
So now
that's
it's
what
like
we
they
saw.
gave them the initiative to now it's up to you to break us down.
All the
Yeah.
players on the pitch said the same thing. McKay said the same thing as well.
Yeah.
In the zone. It looks like when they scored the first goal.
They don't.
At the time, Dan Ben was on the bench. When they scored the first goal. Another one too. He came on. He said the moment they scored, the team was just passive. So on the bench, they were discussing it out. Why are we all sitting back like that? Yeah. But they throw him into it too. Can't
You can't say it, but no, I mean,
No,
they
Dan Ben actually went front. When I
No, that was when they scored.
Oh, that was when the
2-1.
second goal. The second
2-1,
goal
then
comes.
he
As
say
it
make
came
it go,
2-1,
make
that's
it go
when
do
you
center
go.
forward.
He was not supposed to be in the John Scholes position.
Ah.
There's no way you're supposed to be there alone after concentrating the whole
Hey,
game.
Charlie, free header. I say,
You know, free header. We really
Hey, Charlie.
look. England shot themselves in the foot. They could have won this game. They could have beaten Argentina.